Today's Sunday. I'm moving down all the kids' bikes into storage for winter. It's getting pretty cold here. I live in Stockholm, Sweden. It's about like 0 degrees Celsius right now. So in this video, I'm gonna just share a little bit about the week with some focus on books as well. Just so we can get to know each other a little bit better. Okay, so I don't know how I will. Alright, I'm in a bit of a pickle. I'll figure this out. Stuck. Okay, so my current read, I actually finished it and I'm on my second round. It's of Morgan Housel's new book, Same as Ever. It talks about the foundational cyclical things that happens that always stays the same, because it's so easy to focus on what changes in a world of constant change, but there are a few things that stay the same, and if you want to do predictions about the future, it's good to keep those things in mind, because if you want to do some long-term investment, for instance, then going what's tried and true and works, also knowing about the cyclical nature of the market will help you keep calm and steady and do good investments for the future, because there's so many short-term things that keeps happening and you feel like you want to jump on all the new ideas because there are this, there's this cryptocurrency that goes up like this, there's bubbles. It's so easy to get drawn into that herd mentality, but it's also so easy to find yourself in a really shitty situation once the bubble bursts. The book so far was great. That's why I started to rereading it again. Let's see if I can put the camera up here. Whatever. It was really good, short and sweet, and it reminds me a lot of Naval Ravikant's book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Just going through singular, very, very good ideas and mindset that you can adopt. The funny thing with reading Same as Ever, and I also finished The Scarcity Brain, is that I had like the opposite experience with these books. I had really high hopes for Scarcity Brain, and when I read it I felt like, okay, this might be a little bit underwhelming, and I wasn't that impressed with it. Then I read Same as Ever. I was super impressed with it while I read it, but afterwards was like, oh, I don't even feel like I remember anything from that book. But at the same time, with the Scarcity Brain, going back to my notes from it and making the review for it, I realized that that book had a really powerful idea. So it's interesting that sometimes while you read a book you have one experience and then afterward you feel totally different. Because during the read it felt like Same as Ever was a 5 out of 5 book and Scarcity Brain was a 3 out of 3. And right now I feel like both are like 4. So one went down and one went up afterwards. I'm gonna go up. I'm actually gonna record the Scarcity Brain review this evening. Honestly, I'm pretty tired, so I don't really feel up to it, but I know once I get started it should be pretty okay. This is my son Håkan. Håkan, what are you doing?
I play Minecraft.
Got some fucking attitude. You never believe what you say to me. You got some attitude. Okay, I'm in my little studio, which is actually just a work room that we have, and it's so much shit everywhere. I'm gonna record a review of this book, Scarcity Brain by Michael Easter. I loved the comfort crisis, so I'm very excited about this one. I'm using the time here before recording because I want to get rid of my hiccups, which you can hear is quite annoying listening to, but well, I want to show some books that I've read recently that it's been really outstanding. Actually, like the last quarter of 2023 is probably like the best reading that I had, and it's in part due to these books. A Billion Wicked Thoughts. I talked about this one before. It's not a book that many people talk about, but it's a book with the tagline "What the Internet Tells Us About Sexual Relationships," and these researchers that got their hands on a lot of search data from pornographic sites, and they try to take some lessons out of there. What does males and female desire? Are there differences around the world? And it's just very interesting to read, because this is a topic I never really heard about before, and it's has kind of a evolutionary psychology lens to it. This book is probably going to be in my top list of the year. And I also started this one. Let's see if we can find it here. I have a bunch of books here. Determined. This is funny, I got this from the publisher. They contacted me on Instagram and said, "Hey, Determined, do you want that book?" And I said, "Yes, I read Behave before, and it was a really good book. It's a dense bastard, but it was a really good book. Robert Sapolsky, he's really one of the, what to say, but he's like a really interesting figure as a behavioral scientist. He's been at it for a long time, and this book talks about determinism, that basically that free will doesn't exist. A very uncomfortable thought. Fuck, this is not gonna work. An uncomfortable thought. I would like to have believe that free will exists. This book is supposed to crush all arguments for free will. I just started it. The introduction was utterly captivating. I'm listening to it on Audible actually. The funny story was that they contacted me on Instagram and said, "Hey, I want to send you a copy of the book," and I sent my information, and they were like, "Oh, you're from Sweden, then sorry, we can't do it." So I was really surprised that this ended up in my mail anyway, because I didn't get any more communication from them. But I was happy they sent it in the biggest box that I ever received, and it was just this one in. It's not a small book, but compared to the box that I got it in, it's pretty small. I'm probably going to talk a lot about that book on the channel going forward. I have some shit in my forehead. I think that's that on that department. It feels like this year, when it comes to reading, it hasn't been as focused as other years where I had like a very clear goal with what books I want to read, why I want to read them, and this year has been quite chaotic in general, I have to say. But now, as we move towards the new year, it's actually been a good reading year, even though it hasn't been that structured. It's been a lot of impulse reading, is getting something to read something. So hopefully next year I can have more of a strategy for everything. And same for YouTube. The only thing that I had as a goal is to post like a video every week. I think I've done that, but I really haven't had a solid plan. I just keep doing what I do, I guess. And I ended up doing some new things, like the breakdowns of upcoming releases. That idea came from me actually looking for new releases, and I just realized how hard it is to find like trustworthy sources for like upcoming books that are actually interesting. So hopefully I can continue to do that. I think that's really fun, just trying to look at some of the new stuff that is coming out. And it's also opened up my eyes to a lot of new different titles. And now I'm trying this as well, more of a vlog style, hey, hanging out, talking about books type of video with hiccups, and there's like no editing or any fancy things. Let me know if you like it in the comments. I might do a couple of these, just talking about what's happening during the week, about my hiccups, about upcoming books, what interests me, what I learned recently. Hopefully, can, yeah, I don't know. Just thought it would be fun. It's quite tiresome, like, to feel. I had this automatic feeling that, like, okay, as I do more videos, I need to improve the production values. I need to do more editing, better thumbnails, blah blah blah, all the time. Maybe it's the trend, or it's just like some weird expectations that you have on yourself. That, oh, now I have some followers. Now I need to step up my game in all the ways, but that also added a little bit of more pressure. I didn't feel like it was so much fun to stand in front of the camera anymore, so I thought I'd do like more of a 360 flip on it and do like the worst quality video ever and put that out to see how that feels, if that's more inspiring for me. And so far I think this is pretty fun, just to put up the camera, start chatting about books for a little bit. See if I have anything else here that I would like to recommend I haven't talked about on the channel. I actually haven't done a review of this book. I've been talking a lot, or it's been quite a lot of few people that's seen my Parallel Universe of Self video, book that is kind of out there and not as scientific as many other books that I read. And I just saw this one, Levels of Energy, by the same author. This is also one of my favorite books of all time. It's a new age book. It's very much out there and a bit woo-woo type of book, but it's really interesting. It presents this scale. I think there's another author called Dawkins, something like Richard, no, not Richard Dawkins, that's another guy. Some Dawkins guy. He also has this level of energy scale. Frederick Dodson has one too, explaining different stages of consciousness and how we can move up the chain, and describes all of these different energy levels in a very interesting way. And we want to have high energy levels. So that's a really good book to check out if you're into more spiritual and consciousness, new age stuff. I appreciate this from time to time. I want some really hard science and some really wacky stuff that is kind of out there. A good mix is the best. Okay, let's see. So here is the setup. My awesome studio. That's the first snow today. It's actually snowing now. Maybe you can sit there. See, okay, let's get it. Zoom doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Okay, it's snowing. Okay, time for Scarcity Brain review. Let's do it. Yep, not much, but some snow. Off to work this week. The goal is to get some, get further into Determined by Sapolsky, get the Scarcity Brain review out. I need to get a copy of The Same as Ever, because I tend to buy a physical copy and the audiobook for most of my books. It's probably not the most efficient use of money, but hey, I want the physical copy because I usually go back and reference it later on, and it's also good for just content, and it looks good on the shelf as well. I have my shelf in our like dining area. It's like really nice how much conversation it sparks when you have all these titles. When you have people over and someone says like, oh, you have this Rasputin memoir, and you can start a discussion from there. So it's partly vanity, partly because laziness, and partly me not being very economic with my money. I think that's it for this video. Let me know if you enjoy it, and see you next week with another recap. Happy reading.